There we go. It takes it a little while. Must be crowded in the interwebs today.
Yes, yes.
Hello, Gerald.
Hello. Thanks for having me here on Psychic Profiles.
Yes, thank you.
It's an honor.
Thanks you for coming over. And I did a little research on Gerald, and he sent me some information. And he and I, before I do any of these psychic profiles, I spend some time talking to the people, because my hope is to show you a whole range of people with a range of skills and a range of how they do things. But in particular, I try to have people who have a way you could reach out to them, so they just don't get to blow their horn and then run away.
Mm-hmm.
So Gerald does read, and he's a very good reader. And I read with Gerald 3 years ago. I guess we're all running around being on each other's channels.
Yes.
Before YouTube started getting to be a bitch. No offense, YouTube.
I mean offense, YouTube. I mean offense.
Anyway, Gerald believes that tarot is a conversation and not a mystery, and that's how I feel about it. I think it ought to be a conversation for us. So we're going to have a conversation with Gerald and find out about his psychic profile. Welcome. Is there anything you want to say before we get going?
I want to thank everybody for joining, making sure that you are subscribed to Nancy Jean's Garden. All of my people watching, please show your support. I am really honored. Tomorrow I'm hosting a Laugh and Learn celebrating a friend that I met on YouTube's 7-year sober anniversary.
Oh, really?
Yes. And we are talking about 12 steps in tarot and how he has used this to help him. I'm just thrilled with it. I would be remiss not to remind everybody to pay attention to year 3 of Glimmer Globe. Mm-hmm. Glimmers, Glimmers. I know you do.
Oh, I've done shows on Glimmers.
Yes. And so I do have to do this. By the way, I have props, right?
Right.
So everybody make sure that you are doing your glimmers. Put in your glimmers in your jar. Mm-hmm. Because they're very important. We need little tiny bits of joy. What a great form of resistance.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yes.
And it's so important that we reinforce it within ourselves, what we're feeling going on around us.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Contact me for readings. I love doing a private reading. Many layers. It's
That's how to reach TarotStache for reading at Gmail.
Yes. So.
And he also has a line of merch with wonderful mustaches on them.
Gee, thanks for mentioning that. Purchase responsibly. Know your limits. You can also get stickers, so you can turn anything
into a TarotStache.
Yes.
Cool.
But yeah. And I want credit for not actually watching all of your psychic profiles and memorizing all of the questions so that I would prepared. Sometimes I can be a bit of an overachiever.
Well, you could do that, but you know what? Each time, each person, some people will answer a question and then I'll skip a question because they already answered it.
Yes.
So you'd have to really watch a lot of them to get all 20 questions.
Well, yes. And I did in my description link the playlist for the psychic profiles, which is it's something really fascinating, because if you don't want to feel so much like an outsider, these are our people. We share lots.
We share a lot, and yet we're all different, and that's what's important. So none of us are cookie cutter from the other one.
No, which is the beauty of it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the beauty of it. So
and where they're still sort of pile driving in, because this is early in the morning for me.
And I do see a lot of people who are watching, and I like to always say thank you for everybody for the best chatters, the best lurkers, the work lurkers, and the future lurkers.
Aha. We're going to catch you.
We are.
Get you over here.
Yes.
Anyway. So we're going to start now.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes, when did you first realize you might have psychic abilities?
I realized I might have psychic abilities. I was fairly young. I had a tendency to know when things were going to happen. Just like, oh, don't forget about this. We need to do this, or I would be in the right place at the right time. And it just was how I was. And really, as an adult, I started to notice it when I was in college on my own and creating my own environment, where the timing was impeccable for some of the things that happened. I've met all of my long-term partners simply by interesting timing and noticing these things. And it's like, oh, what's going on with that? Why's that? And it was very interesting. I remember as a child having a recurring dream of being buried alive. And that was an interesting thing. I would periodically have it. And it was in my 20s when there was an event. It was a kinesiology event where they were curious about this sort of thing. And so I had somebody was doing some of that for me, and this dream popped in my head. Like I had this dream, and the person was doing some sort of energy adjustment, and I went, "Oh, this is about blah 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 blah," and it made perfect sense to me. Like, oh, okay.
That was a past life thing.
Oh, it very much was. It was.
Did you die in a mine?
Actually, it's worse. I was my parents buried me alive as a ritual.
Oh, that's lovely.
So, but what was great is once I understood what was going on,
right, you never had to live with it anymore.
Never had to live with it. It was fascinating.
Okay. And is there a single aha moment that you said, okay, I'm here, I'm going to be a psychic, or was it just gradually?
It was gradually, and part of that was I had friends who were. I was very fortunate. My mother, a devout Catholic woman, found her spirituality in Catholicism and supported my spiritual curiosity.
Cool.
Yes, I mean, very, very lucky, because I was asking, Mom, I was probably in my early teens. I'd say, well, there's a lot of religions. Don't you think that there's got to be something that's the same in all of them? And her response was, that's a really interesting thought. Why don't you look into that? I was doing reading. I was doing lots of things. There was a point when I was meeting some people who were practicing witches. I was very graciously invited to join in their celebration. And I sort of opened my mouth and saying some things that needed to be said. It was that moment where I went,
That's me. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That's my web person trying to create a buy me a coffee button.
Okay. So it was a really interesting moment, Nancy Jean, because I all of a sudden went, huh, if I step away, information can come through me. And I've learned how to step away, but still be aware of the information that's coming through.
That's really an important thing for people to learn.
It's hard, and sometimes, and I have created through my own practice things that work for me, that ground me, that get me into the right framework. I've done a lot of boundary setting with spirit, on what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do.
Yeah. And people need to understand that that's possible. I learned that when I was when I ran into the ghost in England. When I came back, I went to a parapsychological group in Chicago, and I said, I think I do weird things, but I'm not sure how to define all of it. But this I don't want to do. I don't want any of these guys coming anymore. And they said, they said quite bluntly, you don't have to accept any of it. You can cast it all off if you want.
Mm-hmm.
They said, we wouldn't suggest you do that because you will have other problems. But
yes. Oh, yeah.
So you talked about redefining the Catholic Church as a child. So that means you had some unusual experiences as a child.
I did. Yeah. But it's interesting because those experiences as a child, they just happened. And to be honest with you, I didn't tell anybody about a lot of them because I'm the youngest of 12 children.
Oh,
so
you must be amazed anyone ever heard your voice.
Well, and yes, and I do come by my sense of humor. Honestly, my parents had great sense of humor. They had to with 12 kids. Yeah. And so, but I also spent a lot of time by myself and processing and thinking about things. And I just accepted if it felt right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I'm not going to argue with it.
Right.
So as a child, the experiences that I had, I didn't realize that they were out of the ordinary, and I was sharing some of those. It's like, yeah, people don't usually do that. It's like, really? You can't tell by looking at somebody how their energy is feeling and remind them to, you might want to change your socks. Those are too tight.
Yeah. My experience with that was when I went to college. I'd been raised for 18 years in a bubble. And I'd been raised around all the same people that came to watch me get baptized and go to school. And I went to kindergarten with the kids I graduated from high school with. And when I went to college, all of a sudden, there was only one person on that entire campus I knew. And that meant there was only one person in a city of over 1 million that I knew in that town. And I was so overwhelmed, my power shut off.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was the scariest 2 weeks of my life because I would walk up to people and I was like, oh my God, if this is what it's like to be normal, I want it to turn back on. How can I turn it back? And eventually it came back on. Mm-hmm. But it went away. And I know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to be normal, but I know what it was like to not be able to tell the things I normally could see about people. And you can imagine as a freshman in college when you're meeting new students and new people and everything's new and you got to refilter it. It was not a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How did you react when how are people react to your experiences as you grew up? Were they supportive, skeptical, or a mix of both, or what?
I was very fortunate. My mother was extremely supportive. She just knew, and she encouraged me to do the exploration.
Mm-hmm.
I could ask her any question. She would help me think it through. She would offer a few things. I never got in trouble for asking questions from my mom.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was always, he was busy and we did things together, but I saw mom more.
Mm-hmm.
So she was a stay-at-home mom. I was very fortunate. And I did have an interesting, I have an affinity for books. I like to collect books. I like to go find bits of information, which is probably why I was drawn to work at the library. I didn't have a library degree, but I started shelving books. And boy, the amazing things that are in all of these books that are around, it's like bibliomancy is perfect.
Oh, that's right. That's the answer I needed right there on that page that I happen to open it to.
Yep. And it's like, okay. Oh, yeah.
Did you seek training or did you explore your skills on your own?
Combination of both. I have taken some classes. I was a member of a coven for 12 years, and that that gave me some very wonderful base knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
We were always encouraged to practice on our own and to explore our own skill sets, because when we all came together, there was much more power with that. I am a very tactile learner. A classroom works well for me rather than reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
I need to practice it. I need to disagree with it. I need to argue with it. I need to set it down in the corner, walk away.
Yeah, I know.
Come back to it. So,
Okay. Were there any specific tools that became part of your practice early and that you've carried forward to now?
journaling, writing things down is really critical. If it just shows up, jot it down.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had learned earlier on to date every single page or every single note, so I can go back to that and show the link of how long it takes for certain things to recycle or to come back again. But journaling, paper, pencil, and I think that's probably the biggest one. I'm also a big person who I like.
Oh yeah.
Incense is great. I did it before we got on camera. I lit my frankincense. Frankincense is one of the scents that gets me into a frame of mind, and it's great. That ritual of burning that and sitting down, really powerful.
I saw the weirdest thing the other day on TV. You mentioned frankincense. There's a company that makes a frankincense and myrrh chocolate bar.
What?
With gold on it too. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was on Sorted Foods. They were doing Is It Pretentious?
Okay.
And they said no, it really tasted good, and apparently frankincense tastes like minty.
Okay.
They're all resins though. They're not traditional spices.
I'm not sure if I want to put that in my mouth, but okay.
Well, I guess really that was really dragging into the Christmas season, frankincense, myrrh, and gold.
Yeah.
Do you have mentors or teachers? You said you had a coven you worked with, you had a group of people you worked with. So you've had different teachers.
I have had different teachers. I've had teachers who have helped with Buddhism exploration, witchcraft, tarot, looking and doing some further exploration into some of the African cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like to see and learn from that, and it helps me. It helps to have somebody hold me accountable.
Yeah,
I get so distracted, Nancy. There's so much stuff to explore. I need to stick with something long enough to understand it at a deeper level.
good. Okay. And that's a really important thing for people to learn, because if you really can't focus yourself down on a part of a discipline, it doesn't going and finding somebody else who knows a little more about it than you do, maybe. And sometimes you'll find out when you work with them that you know as much as they do, but they're opening that part of you up.
Yes. Yes.
And how did you learn the difference between psychic impressions and your imagination?
I don't necessarily think there is a difference, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
There are things. My imagination helps to manifest things. I'm a pretty good manifester. So if I imagine it, I have to pay very close attention to what I'm imagining, because I want to have these affirming things come around and to happen. I part of it is this is a great question, and I know there's been a lot of conversation about it. If there is a nudge of, pay attention to that that's psychic connection for me. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think there's, I think it's the, how do I say this? It's the energetic push around it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be vague. So does that make sense to you?
No. It's the energy that surrounds it that is how I can kind of tell. Is that me? Is that real or is that Memorex?
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, and it's also slowing down enough. Sometimes I have to slow down,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to get the tape to go slower so I can notice these details.
Right.
And if I can slow it down, that's the psychic connection for me. It's not, my imagination is just going to ping everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun actually. But I don't necessarily think there's a huge difference.
Okay. And then how did you gradually build yourself to understand your imagination and your impressions?
Practice.
Mm-hmm.
Just letting it sit there without judgment. And just accepting that what I'm seeing is,
Mm-hmm.
instead of arguing with it. I have actually spent some time looking at things, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
It still exists. So practice, exploration, being curious.
Okay.
Does that answer?
That really that it does, because it's a hard question. When I hit some readers with it, they go slap and they go, "Oh yeah, how do I do that?"
Well, that and failure.
Well, that's true, because the universe will hand you that.
Yep. And with that, I think for me, it's always been, what do I do with it? Sometimes my perfect answer is, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that ever again. And I'm going to put it in a box and I'm going to put it away.
Right.
Of course, invariably, I come back to it later when I have evolved and changed. The environment has changed. And then I look at this and I go, well, what was the problem with that? So.
Okay. Are there moments that you've doubted yourself? I mean, just really said, pack this up, go away. And then how did you push through that?
Yes, there was a time when I had found myself surrounded with people who were really struggling with depression,
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, and it bogged me down. It weighed me down. From what I had to do was I had to get some help. Had to talk to some professionals. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-mm.
And I highly encourage people to do that, just to have an outsider. And one of the great things that my counselor said to me, she looked at me and she says, "Is this really yours, or are you just feeling what others are feeling?"
Mm-hmm.
That was a moment for me to where I went, that's really important for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned to pay very close attention to my boundaries, what somebody else's, because it's not going to help anybody if I take their stuff away. They're going to miss their opportunity, and I don't need their drama.
Yeah, we were born with enough stache.
Yes, yes. Absolutely.
How do you handle skepticism?
I ask what they mean by their skepticism. I get curious, and I gently, I don't force anything. I just listen. And I oftentimes reflect back what I'm hearing. I find people who are skeptics, there's something going on. They haven't taken enough time to understand what it is they're looking at. It scares them, it intrigues them, but they don't know what that is. And that exploration helps me figure out a way to connect and explain my experience using terms they might understand.
Yeah. Good. And have your abilities gone through weak and strong phases?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I think it's part of the growth, actually. When it takes me a bit of time to get connected, it's time to change the tarot decks. It's time to refresh my black salt, smudge the place, and rotate, because then I'm stuck in a rut. I'm doing the same thing when the same thing isn't what's needed.
No.
And I'm very fortunate. I have friends who they will call me on my stuff. It's like,
that's good. That helps.
Yeah, my husband Jeffrey does that very well for me. He's looking at me and he goes, "Are you overthinking this?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing." So I'm very lucky.
Okay. And how do you protect your energy?
I have various practices that I do every day.
Okay.
I think it was Donna Eden who talked about the zip up technique with the chakras.
I don't know about that.
Okay. What she does is and this is a bad paraphrasing of it. But what it is it's the idea of is that you act like you have a zipper, and you start at the root chakra and you go all the way up, and you zip them up energetically so they are lined up. It has worked well for me. I've expanded that to, especially when I'm in the shower, I will unzip it, cleanse and clean, and then I end with zipping it up with the full intention that things are where they need to be and I am safe. I do, well, my necklace here.
Yes, tiger's eye.
My tiger's eye is, I have worn this for, I've had it for about 10 years. And I wear it when I need, when I want to feel protected and confident. I'm a big person for jewelry. Love me some jewelry.
Love them crystals.
Oh, yes. The crystals are great. So how do I protect my energy? I do the same ritual over and over and over again, because each time I do it, it adds a nudge to it. It adds more energy to it. As I said, I like frankincense, so I'm frequently burning frankincense. And my energy is, I do check with my decks if certain decks, tarot decks or oracle decks, are for public consumption, or are they just for me? So, did that answer your question? I sort of rambled.
Oh no, that was great answers.
So, yeah, it is a big tiger's eye shield. Well, and for me, and I'm pretty sure this is a past life thing, I really like these chest pieces. I know it's something that is past life. So in ritual, I have a necklace for ancestor honoring. I have a necklace for my own initiation and my own connection. I have a necklace for the goddess and that time period. I have 5 of them. They're different colors.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay,
And
this,
tiger's eyes is, guys, it's not just a shield. Tiger's eye pulls in the most incredible positive energy you can imagine.
mhm,
It's not just a shield to keep stuff off of you. It lets the good stuff in.
mhm, yeah. And I remember having a conversation with some witchy friends when they were first exploring, and they would invite me in, and I wasn't having anything to do with it other than celebrating with them.
Mm-hmm.
They would talk about shields and shielding and shielding, and I'm like going, here's the thing about shielding is when you shield, you have to be very specific. And it's like you can't cut off just one emotion.
No.
You cut off all of the emotions. So I would actually say, look at it as a screen
Mm-hmm.
of setting the intention of what do I want to allow in and what do I want to keep out.
Mm-hmm.
And it is one of those things that I mean, I can tell when people adjust their perspective,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, keep everything out, and it's like, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe let's put up a screen that makes it safer, and it's okay. And
Mm-hmm.
you are very specific, and so I
That
don't know
makes
why I
sense.
went on that ramble.
No, that's fine. Okay. Do you think psychic abilities are innate, or can anyone develop them?
Yes and yes. I think
No.
what there is a tendency, I think we are born with some natural tendencies of things that are not able to be explained.
Mm-hmm.
If we're fortunate enough to be surrounded by others who recognize that and
Mm-hmm.
point at it and celebrate it,
Mm-hmm.
rather than saying, well, you shouldn't be doing that, don't do
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
that tamps it down, it blocks it. um, I do think there is things can be learned, but they don't feel natural. They're work.
Right.
So it's like reading tarot cards. You can memorize every single card and its meaning, great. Or you can look at them and do them intuitively, great. Or
Mm-hmm.
you can combine both of them and allow
Mm-hmm.
your intuition to sort of guide you.
Right.
So,
And when I've taught tarot classes, when I used to teach them before COVID with real live people sitting at the table, I had 2 or 3 people show up who just knew the cards. I mean, it's like they'd always, and they hadn't studied it particularly anywhere before, but they just knew the cards and that's how they read. A couple people who were like, it has to mean this because it's here, you know, and that's more a reflection of who they are than what the cards are meant to do. And like any other tool in life, do you know how to swing a hammer and get a nail in the wall, or do you just want to knock a hole in the wall?
yes. So there's a beauty about it. Some
Mm-hmm.
people have an ability to be patient long enough to find the right tool
Mm-hmm.
for the job. I mean, and that's a skill I don't always have, or I've learned, because I'd be hammering tacks in with a sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like going, as a reader, that doesn't help.
No,
That's just overwhelming.
no.
And so what do you think about that question? Has anybody flipped that and asked you, do you think
Um,
it's innate or can it be learned? Or
I think it's innate in everyone. I think the the point you're at in your own life. When I was always dealing with adults more than kids, although um, I have grandchildren, and like I had one. We have a family we spend Thanksgiving with every year that are here in Dallas, and
Mhm.
he has a daughter the same age as my granddaughter, and my grandkids are always at that house and for Thanksgiving. And he said, do you have a deck you could bring for Susie, his daughter? And I said, sure. I mean, this guy's a Mormon. No, they believe in a lot of stuff that, when he really starts talking about stuff, I'm going, really? Your church believes that? And so I brought Susie and her, and I sat there for an afternoon playing some ideas about the tech. And Susie he said that deck has become the deck of their house. When he was breaking up from someone that he thought he wanted to marry, he's been widowed and divorced, and now he's trying to raise kids on his own that were born, and right after the last one was born, his mother died of a heart problem. And it's like there's a lot of grief and weird things in that family. But he said, I was sure she was the one. And I said, well, when you're always sure it's the one, go look again. Anyway, and he said he came outside the front door one day when he had just kind of decided maybe this really wasn't going to work. And there was the Two of Wands sitting in his doorway. And he asked Susie, are you missing a card? And she said, oh, I wasn't even out playing with him. I don't know how it got out there. Mm-hmm. So this Thanksgiving, when I showed up, he said, what's this card mean? And I talked to him about it. And I said, then he told me the whole story of how he found it. And I said, I think it was the universe affirming to you needed to look beyond where you were looking.
Yeah.
So, and I think their whole family, strong spiritual base within the church. They go to church every Sunday and do all that stuff. But there's a lot more depth to an understanding of spirituality that they don't have.
Yes. I know for me, I like ritual. I like ceremony. It helps get me in this space. And I know that's past life stuff. Lots of it. But it's
this life stuff. You're living in this life.
It is. And I remember I served Mass. I served Mass until I was a senior in high school, which was out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
I went to seminary for a summer because I liked the ceremony and the ritual aspects of it. There's a whole lot of magic in many religions, which is beautiful.
You know where Hocus Pocus came from?
Where did it come from?
It's when the priest had his back turned to people and he was changing the host into the body of Christ. If you read that line in Latin, it sounds like Hocus Pocus.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes. And I'm an Episcopalian, and when you fall off the wagon and you're not sure about your beliefs, you just keep coming and going through the same steps over and over again until it wakes back up.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
So, okay. How has your work changed your belief in life and death?
Death is a transition.
Mm-hmm.
Life is extremely important and should be paid attention to and lived as completely and fully as possible. Being present is where it's at. This is listen to me. How proper. Being present is where it's at. Being present in the moment guides us to what's the next thing. I can't change the past.
Nope. And you can't pull the future to you. You have to let it unfold.
Mm-hmm. Also, I find it really interesting. There are, like with tarot, people are asking certain questions, and I believe simply by asking the question, you've adjusted the energy around it.
And that's why obsessively asking about certain current events is not going to help matters.
No. Yeah.
If it's not going to make it clear as mud is what it's going to make it.
Clear as mud is what it's going to make it. So I think there is an importance of honoring history
Mm-hmm.
and honoring heritage
Mm-hmm.
and bringing that with us to help us make the next right choice, take the next right action.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And what's one of the more powerful readings you've ever done? Just kind of circumstances and why you felt it was powerful, either for you or for the client or for the universe.
I did a reading for someone who um, you may have this happen as a reader. People, they come to you, they say it's for something, but it's
Mm-hmm.
really about something else.
Right.
And I kept seeing certain things, and I kept nudging it. And I
Mm-hmm.
said to her, I don't know what's going on with this, but here, and here. I can, you need to tell me what's going on with this, because until that happens,
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to get anything useful for you. And my role is to help you get information so you can make choices. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the person, she excused herself to go to the restroom. She came back and she's like, "Then I'll be really honest with you." And she told me that these are things that she'd been worried about,
Mm-hmm.
but she didn't have the words to put it into work to have a question.
Right.
And so I held space for that. And by holding space, I just mean I sit with someone
Mm-hmm.
where they are, not trying to not trying to say anything, but just
Mm-hmm.
allow them to feel supported exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually was, when she had that clarity, she suddenly knew everything that she needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was so powerful to trust the intuition that I had, these nudges, and what in the cards I'm noticing.
Mm-hmm.
I have to trust myself just to say it. It doesn't mean anything to me. It may mean something else. And then to stop talking.
Mm-hmm. Until you could get clear what was the real issue in the room.
Exactly. Also, it gives allowing people to have the silence
Mm-hmm.
is so powerful, because how often are we in silence?
Not often.
No, there's always something going on. And that's been a big thing for me of I need to unplug, I need to disconnect, I need to get my hands in fabric so I can feel
Mm-hmm.
and experience, because I'm a very tactile person. I'm always, I've got little cards because it's a tactile experience for me.
Right. Good. And how do you deliver sensitive or complex messages to clients?
Slowly, with a full and open heart, so that they can feel that the message, they may not understand it, but they know the message is coming from an honest and authentic place.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and sometimes in delivering those messages, Nancy, um, say less
Right.
and hold
Let
that
them
silence. Yes.
let them figure out what is not being stated
Mhm.
within themselves.
Yes, and like online, I for readings online, I don't I I do caffeinated and unfiltered readings where the humor is just part of
Mm-hmm.
the delivery, but there's that, oftentimes there can be that laughter, and we go, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, uh-huh, okay, I hear you." Um, my private readings, they're very concise and upfront. caffeinated, but boy, it's easier to say, I'm not sure what's going on. You might want to be paying attention to these things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice anything about that?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Okay. What advice would you give someone who's just starting to explore their gifts?
congratulations, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Honoring yourself that you have a gift is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anybody take that away from you. Keep a journal.
Mm-hmm.
Write down lots of things. Put dates in it.
Mm-hmm.
And keep it to yourself for a while. Get comfortable with it. So this gift that you have, it's your gift. It's not like anybody else's in the world, which is really powerful. It's uniquely yours. Honor that, get used to it, and explore it. Explore it privately, and don't give it away.
Yeah, that's kind of the one I try to explain to people. You just can't hand it off to everybody.
Well, and sometimes it's just not appropriate.
No. Well, you don't know what you haven't built up a vocabulary for dealing with it within yourself.
Yes, yes, and keep working at it. Do a small thing every day. It's really powerful.
Are there any daily habits or exercises you would recommend?
Journaling,
Mm-hmm.
gratitude practice,
Mm-hmm.
that actually changes the way our brain thinks. The vagal response adjusts when we start to see and pay attention to what we want more of. More of it shows up. Don't belittle others who are different than you.
That's right.
Don't, because you don't know their story. They don't know yours. The other thing I would definitely add to that is listen with curiosity. Do that improv thing. Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
or and get curious. That idea of this is, well, what do you mean by such and such?
Mm-hmm.
I remember, Nancy, I was facilitating a book discussion about dreams, and this person's, or no, it was doing spiritual exercises,
Mm-hmm.
and the person says, well, nothing happens when I do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at them and I said, what do you mean nothing happens? It's like, well, nothing happens. I just show up at this white light castle in the clouds, and I go into this room that has
Mm-hmm.
all of these books, and I just sit down and read. I'm like, going, that's not nothing.
Nothing. No.
um, so yeah, it was that was fascinating. It was like, what do you
Okay.
mean nothing happens?
This is a fun one. And you can say, I don't really have an answer for that. How can someone find a trustworthy psychic community or mentor?
Sample, see what you like. If you go into if you can, by the way, if you can support a brick and mortar, great. If you're lucky enough to have one of those, go in and explore.
Mm-hmm.
If the energy feels good to you, explore a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
If the energy feels a little off, you can go ahead and back away. Go back another time.
Right.
I'm a firm believer it's the people behind the counter who adjust the energy in a room.
Mm-hmm.
But explore, sample it, go, try a little bit of everything. Take a class or two.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sign up for a 12-week class. Sign
Mm-hmm.
up for a 1-day class to see how it makes it feel to you.
And sign up for a class you can afford.
Thank
Do
you.
not judge classes by how much they charge.
Correct. And I also think, like, online, subscribe to lots of people. If you're not watching their videos, unsubscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. It's your time, your energy, and your money.
That's right. Well,
And
and subscribing doesn't cost you anything. I mean, you know, and they may, you know what, it may show up on the one day you needed to hear the one thing that person was ever going to say that you needed to hear.
I love that. I love that. I think it's really interesting for people who explore, just to ask a few people, hey, have you
Mm-hmm.
ever been to such and such?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be willing to go with me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I love the idea of being curious about things, talking to people. I remember when I went in to the brick and mortar where my former high priestess was, I actually interviewed her to find out what
Mm-hmm.
she does. And I was doing it respectfully. I was just like,
Well,
hey, I'm curious
I can
about.
I can tell you for a fact that no one, no matter what, no matter whether the most powerful person on the earth or if they just started yesterday, is going to care if you ask about who they are. People like to talk about who they are. That's the basis of politics. Let me tell you, candidates want to get interviewed, and they want to talk about what they do. And if they don't want to talk about what they do, then they're hiding. So if someone won't talk to you, then that might be a sign for you to put on your track shoes and run the other way.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you don't have to make a big deal about walking away.
No.
I'm not one who is going to post on Facebook or exit or Instagram it or all that stuff. Just take your toys and go to a different sandbox.
That's right. That one didn't fit with you.
Yes.
And there were two people in the room at the time, so it doesn't mean one of them was wrong,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Correct. I love that.
And what's the biggest lesson you've learned on your psychic journey?
When I'm honest with myself,
Mm-hmm.
I am much more effective to help myself and others.
That's right.
And I have an ego just like everybody else. I have worries and concerns just like everybody
Mm-hmm.
else. When I'm honest and I shine a light on those,
Mm-hmm.
I can do something with them. If I avoid them, that has caused problems. So honesty is, for me, is a really big thing.
Yeah, and pull from your pain. If you run into someone who says, I've never had a problem since I started doing this, everything's been glowing and lovely, my whole world's been golden, I can't tell you how fast I'd be out the door.
Yeah. And I still have things that, I try to be honest, because if something captures my attention and it's not letting it go,
Mm-hmm.
usually something that is annoying me,
Yeah.
and I have the choice. I can ignore it,
Mm-hmm.
I can lean into it, or I
Mm-hmm.
can go full force and just try to rip it out. And I'm learning to be nice to myself and to go, let's just lean into that. And sometimes, as I said earlier, sometimes leaning into it is like going, nope, this isn't working for me right now. I don't have my support. I need to get some help understanding what this is. Somebody that
Mm-hmm.
is trustworthy. There are a few psychics that I will go to get readings with,
Mm-hmm.
because their energy lines up to certain aspects of myself.
And they also show up at the right time,
Absolutely.
because we cannot be all things for all men.
No, I wouldn't want to be.
Oh God, no.
Ugh.
Well, it doesn't exist. So
I love it to see the different people with the readings, and I'm
mm-hmm.
just, it's like, oh, what are we exploring today? That's great. Let's find
Mm-hmm.
out.
Well, that's it for you, kid. That's
Thank
your
you.
20 questions. Is there anything you want to say in closing about where Gerald's headed in 2026. It's a 1 year. It's a new year.
It is.
It's a real new year.
Yes. I am working on creating a tarot class and an approach to learning tarot, which is going to give people the elements and the aspects of things that they can put it together in a way that works for them.
Good.
So I'm looking forward to that. I am also looking forward in the new year of expanding more of my creativity conversation shows, where creativity is, we need more of it. Don't overthink it, people. It is what it is. Because the energy right now, Nancy, we need to have creativity. We need to have more joy.
We do. We need to have more glimmers. Grab them glimmers.
Grab those glimmers, share them. And I always like to say, if you can be somebody else's glimmer for the day, do it. But you may never know that you were their glimmer.
Oh, that's true.
That's okay.
Yeah, I've had people make my day, and I just was like, oh, thank you, you know?
I mean, be nice. I mean, hold the door open for someone. This has been a thing recently. It's like, because of the holidays, everybody gets wigged out and there's a lot of energy around. And if you hold the door for somebody and you smile at them, they may say thank you, they may not. But you held the door for them. Great.
Well, Plucky Heroine thinks that this chat is a glimmer.
I love that. I might actually put that in my glow.
This chat, our chat today was a glimmer.
Yes, I love that.
And you were a glimmer to show up here for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate giving your time. I
appreciate you. And you were actually my glimmer on the day that we first met to talk about this.
Oh.
It's a beautiful connection when you have the ability to connect with someone. That's beautiful.
And that's what people have been, you know, that's where this came from. This actually came from me almost dying in June. And when I came back, it said, you know, I said, there's all these people I've worked with and I need to know more about them. And it said psychic profiles. So I called Sheila up and I said, you want to do this? I think I have 20 questions. And she said, okay, we're going tonight. And she said, I'm not going to give you time to talk yourself out of this. She knows me.
Good.
So I called her and she said yes. And then the next note I got was from Linda G saying, how does someone get into this?
I love this.
And then, you know, and it just kind of snowballed since then. There's been a very few people I haven't been able to get to come on. There's some people I've contacted. And if I've contacted you and I haven't contacted you back, I'm getting there. It's just, I sent out like 30 to 30 people on one email and I got so many back and I said, okay, I can handle this many till Christmas and then this many. But if this goes like it's going, when I am going to download these interviews onto Substack.
Nice.
Because Substack's proved to be a really interesting forum for me for the crystal Advent calendar.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people over there who want to know about this stuff and they don't have a lot of resources over there. You'd think they'd know to come and find us over here, but I guess it's kind of a mad test of your patience.
Yeah.
Well, I try to get everybody out at 1 hour, so we're leaving, kids. Say bye, Gerald.
Bye, Gerald. Thanks, everybody.